got control for diabetes. Like, so she was good. And then 3 years later, not 3 years later, but 3 years ago, she had a heart attack. So, I mean, nothing super detrimental, but definitely out of the blue. And my dad was the one who found her. It was in her home. She had a heart attack in her home, and my dad went to go take her lunch, like he usually did. And he was actually the one who called me, and I went over there, and so yeah, like it was super emotional, like, because obviously, like, I was super close with her, my brother and my sister was super close with her, but yeah, that's how it happened.
So, ever since then, how have you felt about that situation? Are you kind of at rest with it, or does it kind of stick with you in more like a negative way, I guess you could say?
I would say a little bit of both. Just because, like I think I have come to rest with it, because, like, I mean, she's always, like, somehow, like, she always kind of, like, comes up, and, like, she's on my mind, or, like, you know, I have a picture of her in my room, and so, like, I think I've come to, like, accept it, and, like, be glad that, like, she's in a better place, but also, like sometimes, more often, I'm, like, okay with it, but sometimes there comes a point where, like, I'm, like, really upset about it, and, like, I kind of, like, wish she was here to, like, kind of, like, just be here and, like, see, like, how I am as, like, you know, an older women, and I don't know, and, like, the anniversary of her death is really hard for me. So that's when I really am the most upset about it. Like, when that time comes around, usually it's around, like, the beginning of this month. That's when it happened, and so I think that's when it, like, just when that time of year comes around, like, it's super hard for me, and, you know, like, my family too.
So besides the anniversary, is there any other days, like, throughout the year that make you think of her more, like, say, her birthday, or, like, if you have, like, a typical, like, a yearly family meal or something like that?
Right. Yeah, most definitely. Her birthday, for sure. Christmas is a big one. She loved Christmas. We were her only grandchildren, so it was just, like, she loved it. It was really fun. I feel like all holidays that kind of come around where you spend with your family, like, you know, Easter, Thanksgiving, like, it's always kind of something that comes across my mind that's kind of like, this sucks, but more often so is it, like, her birthday and Christmas, where, like, it truly, like, makes me upset, I feel.
So, do you find it easy or somewhat difficult to go to her gravesite, or is it something you like to do, or is it something you kind of just rather not do?
At first, I really hated it. Like, I didn't really want to do it because, you know, it's sad. But I've actually come to find that, like, it makes me feel better. You know, just to go and kind of, like, sit there and know that, like, she's with me. So yeah, like, I've found that as more of, like, a coping method now than something that's negative.
Yeah, I like that you say that. I definitely have had some significant people in my life pass away, and I found it a little bit kind of relieving to go to the gravesite, just even if it's just sitting there in the quiet, and just knowing that you're there with them, it sometimes helps. And then, of course, like, if you, I don't know, are you religious in any way?
Yeah. A little bit.
So, I get one of the things that could help, is if you ever do go to the site, if there's anything like you ever want to say to her, or just you, even if you don't say it out loud, if you just think it in your mind, just getting that out there will maybe help kind of put you in a better place.
Yeah.
Sometimes things get kind of clogged up in your head, and you want to release it a little bit, and sometimes that can be beneficial if you're just sitting there, kind of like it's a one-on-one conversation with her, like you're still sitting there face to face, but I mean, of course you're not. But for some people it can feel like that, and
Yeah.
I think that could be something beneficial that might help.
Yeah, I think so too.
So you said you have trouble falling asleep. Is this something that you kind of ever think about when you're falling asleep? Like, does this ever prevent you from falling asleep?
Sometimes. Like, sometimes I'll just kind of get caught up in, like, the emotions of it, I guess. And just, like, lay there. So, like, I think that could definitely, like, be a factor.
Do you ever feel any guilt about her death?
Sometimes, like, I guess I feel guilty for, like, not being able to, like, say goodbye, like, on a real, like, level.
I can definitely see that. So I know we're getting close to our time, and I don't want to leave you on a negative note about it. So, are there any times or things about her that you remember that are in a positive thing, like make you happy in regards to remembering her?
Yeah, she was always super, like, she was always, like, a super happy person, and she was someone who never wanted to be bored. So, I mean, we would always do things, like, whether it was shopping, or, like, going to get your nails done, or, like, going to the mall, or, like, watching a movie, like, going to a movie, or getting lunch. So, like, that's always a positive, because I know, like, that makes me feel better about dealing with her death, because I know that, like, she truly did live her best life, because she was never not doing anything. So, like, that's a big positive for me, because she was always wanting to do something with us, and she was always really supportive of every single one of us, and, you know, our dreams, whether they were, you know, reasonable or not. You know, we were kids, so she was always, like, super supportive and super excited, and, like, that's always, like, a good note to, like, think about.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that it's not, like, all that you think about isn't always negative, that you can find some positives in it. Positivity is always a good thing, like, seeing, even if you're in a bad situation, seeing the bright side of it, like with a death of a person, and, like, you may be close and it may be sad and that's all you can think about, but sometimes seeing the positive, like remembering all the good times you had with them, is definitely something that helps a lot. So I definitely think we got a good understanding of everything. I really like where things are going. If you don't mind me asking, what would you like to cover more in our next session?
I guess just ways I can feel more comfortable opening up.
Okay.
Like, I guess to other people, like, specifically, like, in my relationship. Like, I feel like I just need to learn how to, like, be open with not only him, but also, like, my mom, and, like, maybe ways to, like, talk to my dad, and, like, in a positive manner.
So we could get a lot of things done with that. I think that's a great thing for us to do next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a plan.
Great.
We can go from there.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Video.